UNFPA, we have since 2008 established a partnership with the International Conference on Midwifery, because it was recognized that increasing and reducing maternal mortality had become a global focus. It was one of those MDGs that it was felt that most developing countries had difficulty meeting, and therefore the international partnership was established. UNFPA established a maternal health thematic fund for which Guyana was selected to receive support in 2008, and we actually received funding in 2009. We tried to do some work in 2009, but we didn't have the staffing. So in 2010, we actually started the physical work. I want just to use this little address to sort of bring us through where we've come. Because I think over the past 3 years, we have achieved a lot. But as it is always said, to those who much is given, much is required. And therefore, if you have come this far, you haven't come this far by chance. You have come this far by deliberate actions. And it is up to you as individual midwives, and then as an association, to take the leadership role and the leadership in maternal mortality reduction. Because increasingly, the quality of midwifery has become the focus of international work. Because it is felt that if midwives are properly trained, if they have given the skills, the legislative framework, they contribute more significantly to maternal mortality reduction than any other group. This is something that it is not only said, it is something that the evidence supports. And therefore we're strongly in support of the Midwives Association and the development of the midwifery profession and midwives as a group. When we started in 2009, as your president said, we conducted an assessment. And it was very interesting the way she presented it, that the new baby was born and you had to do the assessment and you upped our scores and all of that. It was very interesting. But what we did was the Midwives Association, the ICM, developed a toolkit called the Membership Association, it is called MACAT in short, but I tend to forget the acronym sometimes. That tells you what the Midwives Association needs to do and where the Midwives Association is at a particular point in time. We did that assessment, and from that assessment we came up with a work plan, and we have been following through that work plan. We have been following through the work plan to the point today where it has been announced that the Guyana Midwives Association is a member of ICM. But remember, it started a long time ago because we participated in conferences where there was no international person at ICM level that represented the Caribbean. We have struggled to get the ICM representative here at 2 conferences in the past. But those were represented other regions. Today we are successful in having a region, North American, Caribbean region representative here. So that is a big achievement. So for the ICM, they have appointed a North American Caribbean Association executive officer to oversee the region. That was not happening in 2008, 2009. So that's a major achievement. When we started, there was no Guyana Midwives Association. If we have a chart that we use in our reports that show the exponential growth in the membership of the association. That is a major achievement. When we look again, we see that regions are having representatives to coordinate activities in the region, a major achievement. We also see that in the area of education, the Midwives Association, while not requiring presently by law to have continuing education sessions, have moved ahead and have held a number of continuing education sessions to improve individual skills and competencies. When I spoke to Dr. Wolford about this conference, we have been sponsoring this conference year after year, and now Dr. Wolford pleasantly said to me, "Oh, these are my midwives, we are going to be supporting them." And I said, "Wow, this is new." The Director of Maternal Health has taken on board the issue of midwifery, and she is helping to sponsor a conference. No longer it is external. So I said to you, to whom much is given, much is required. And if you are given all these things, you are being pushed in a certain direction, your mandate is maternal and child health, to reduce maternal deaths, neonatal mortality. You have to take that responsibility seriously. You have to make use of the opportunities presented to you. You have to ensure that the CE sessions that are organized and they spend, the association executive or the Ministry of Health might spend so much time trying to get a doctor to come to your session to present. When he's there, he shouldn't come to see 4 people. He should be seeing a full room, because the midwives are so exuberant about their development that they are going to make continuing education sessions priority, because you want to be equipped with the skills and the knowledge to prevent mother and children death, and to make sure, as one doctor said to me in Region 5, we are trying to make sure that we don't have any maternal death in this region. You have to make that personal commitment to yourself. We have also looked at other issues outside of your individual parameters, because there are some things which you can do for yourself, and there are others which others must do. So the whole issue of your curriculum, people have spent hours, and I've seen, as I said, some of your senior nurses who have retired, spending hours sitting with the Chief Nursing Officer, with Mr. Ben, to review curriculum, to come up with new scope of practice, having to do with meeting the international criteria for curriculum for midwives. Because Guyana midwives are no different from anywhere else, and therefore you should have the same skills and the competencies available to midwives everywhere. Take some interest on your part. And I'm putting the challenge to the individuals, because the Midwives Association has come a far way. But the followership must now take responsibility to ensure that you build a stronger association, because you will become stronger individuals. And if you are stronger individuals in your own capacity to deliver, then midwifery gets a better reputation. Nurse Henry spoke of attitude. And it is critical, because when we assess and you talk to people in the health service, they tell you about healthcare workers' attitude. It is not only a problem in Guyana, I can assure you. We have done similar studies across the Caribbean, but it don't have to continue to be a problem in Guyana, because you can make that big shift in how you treat with your clients, and how you respect them as human beings, and how well you respect their human rights. So those are things that you have to do at your own level. At the other level, the work on the curriculum goes on. We have just completed a draft scope of practice, and I know a lot of work went into that. A lot of hours went into that. A lot of persons' time gave up their time to doing it. So if people are doing these things for you, for those who a lot is given, much is required. To those who much is given, much is required. And I just want to implore you, as you move forward in strengthening both your association, as you are doing now, you have to ensure that the education side has been a problem. The Market Association told us that. All the other assessment we know. If you look at the curriculum against the international curriculum, there are gaps. That's being addressed. If you look at the legislation, I know that steps are in place to address the legislative issue of access to for midwives to do certain signal functions. The regulation authorizing you to do certain life-saving functions. Those are things which you as an individual midwife has no control over. You have to leave it to minister and his team to address those. But at the association level, you have to keep asking minister for it. And this is where the difference between the association and the individual. The association can do certain things by its strength. But the individual must do for themselves and work with the association to strengthen. So what you have to do, you have, as individual, you have to go out there and encourage all your members, all your colleagues to be members of the association. You have to strengthen your financial position. As your president said, you cannot continue to get funding. Funding doesn't come all the time, so you will have to look for ways of funding issues for the association. But if you work hard, I tell you, if you work hard and you demonstrate that you are willing to work on the issues, funding will come. And not only when you have the conference, don't only wait until you have the conference. You will have to demonstrate throughout the years that you are working hard. And if midwives work hard, what we are going to see, a reduction in maternal mortality. So midwives can take the leadership and the ownership for that achievement. And I'm sure Minister won't wrestle with you for that. He will just simply say, my midwives have done well and they have helped us to reduce maternal mortality. I'm sure he won't wrestle with you to take it that he has done it. He will say, my midwives have done well, they have reduced maternal mortality, and Guyana is the better off for it. As I take my leave from you, because I leave Guyana in another month or so, I want to thank you all for the support that you have given to the Maternal Health Thematic Fund. We have been there with you on different occasions. And I personally want to see the growth of the Guyana Midwives Association, because again, you can take the leadership. There is an emerging new trend across the region, and Guyana should take leadership. And if Guyana takes leadership, then I see no reason why the Guyana Midwife Association, from where it is right now, could be part of that leadership. I want to wish you a successful conference, and I hope to see you some other time. Thank you.